trying to make it potentially a one-possession game. Up and under Pacey's. That's what they needed right there. Force one here. Up to Chin, who throws it down. Minkler, good ball fake, gets to the 10, count it, and the foul. Two buzzer beaters to his credit, goes down the lane, double pump.
There it is.
Good! Another! And it's a steal by Soden. Soden to the rim. He's got the layup, and Bedford's got the lead. McGeady drives, Strand open, three-pointer up and in. Wow. And they come up with a steal. O'Connell looking for the flush.
Make guys shoot twos.
Step back, Castro trying to tie the game. Juanena up the sideline, Castic way, double pump. Shot up and in! Up and in! Trying to find Buono. Mike with the steal! Mike is going to run up the court! Well, hello everyone, and welcome here to Derry. Nick Anastas, Justin Gorham with you, getting set for our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance. It's the Pinkerton Astros and the Bedford Bulldogs, a rematch of last year's Division I state championship game. This one circled as soon as the schedule was released. These two teams eyeing one another, 1-2 in the standings all year. Bedford comes in undefeated at 14-0. Pinkerton on their trail at 13-1. The lone blemish a couple of weeks back against Dover. Since then, the Astros have won 3 in a row. And this game, of course, features two of the state's superstars, so to speak.
Yes, it does.
Regardless of division. There's one of them, Luke Soden, the Bedford senior, one of the best pure shooters / scorers statewide. And, of course, on the other side, it's the 6'9" senior Jackson Marshall, who is averaging an eye-popping 37 points per game.
Absolutely. Probably around, I can't get the rebounding stat, but I'm probably putting him around 15 rebounds a game. You know, Luke Soden's averaging 26.5 points a game. So you get two of the highest scorers in the entire state. In fact, Jackson leads the state in all divisions in scoring. You get two teams that have scored a tremendous amount of points. And it's interesting to note that Pinkerton has 1,155 total points as a team thus far, whereas Bedford has 1,136. So Pinkerton was on that 90-point roll. Remember that, when they were scoring 90-plus every night, almost got 100. So this game is going to be filled with scoring. I think it's going to be two teams, might be a little tight early, but, man, we've been waiting for this one. You and I, we've been pumped up for this one.
I think we are two of many, because this place was swarmed about an hour and a half before game time. The parking lot began to fill up. And right now, they're still coming in droves. That includes the Bedford side. They rolled out the extra bleacher specifically for tonight's event in anticipation of the crowd size, and the Bedford fans, as they always do, have traveled here to Dover.
Yeah, they travel very well.
And are donning the entire black. And on this side, we've got the red. That's the home red. The Pinkerton Astros, of course, the student section, they'll stay on their feet throughout the night. They're dressed in white. So it is a festive atmosphere and a battle for first place on the line as we approach mid-February.
Well, I think this game, you know, they could play each other again. We saw them play in the finals last year. This game determines, I think, whether or not we'll see them in the finals. If one of these teams all of a sudden makes a mistake in the playoffs, which can happen at any time. We saw Dover upset Pinkerton on a day when they didn't score very many points. Defensively, they weren't very good. And then we come back and we see Wyndham push Pinkerton a little bit, made the game tough for them to win. You know, they had to win in the end with Jackson Marshall getting 17 points in the fourth quarter. And then we see Bedford with two close games, really. We saw a close game with Nashua North. And we saw, we didn't do the game, but we saw the Memorial score was a 3-point game. And I talked to Coach Bryson, and he said they had him. They had him beat, made a couple mistakes in the end, and end up losing. But when you're a team that wins championships and you have close games like that, you tend to find a way to win in the end.
And Coach Moreno says his team may be better for the experience, having to sweat out a couple of games down the stretch versus every other game where they've blown out opponents by double digits. So Bedford undefeated last year, on their way to their first ever Division I state championship. And they're undefeated again through 14 games this season. A big part of that DNA is, of course, Coach Moreno's full court press, which we expect to factor in tonight. What does Pinkerton need to do to counter that press, and what do they need to get done just overall? Some keys here as we close in on the tip.
I think Pinkerton in the beginning of the year wanted to be a running team. And it encouraged Jackson to, get up and down the floor. He's gotten in better shape. You can tell he's getting up and down the floor much better than he did last year. But they're also using him in the post more than they did last year, too. Pinkerton's going to have to figure out a way, though, to have the game pace in their favor. I don't think they run as well as Bedford does. The pressure that Bedford puts on, if they get a steal, they score easy baskets, they get them quick. And if they find a way to break the press, then Bedford's going to have to readjust as well. But I think if Bedford determines the pace, right, they want to go up and down as fast as they can. Coach Moreno said he lets them go. They just play. There's no structure on offense because they all know each other so well. I just think that we're going to know within about the first 4 or 5 minutes what the pace of the game is going to be like, right, and what team is going to be able to handle that pace. Fast, slow? I don't know. Bedford doesn't like to play slow, so maybe you mix it up a little bit if you're Pinkerton.
Coming up, starting lineups, national anthem, and then the tip-off at the bottom of the hour. The heavyweight matchup between Bedford and Pinkerton. Coming up next, you are watching our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com. The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse competition, not just in the state, but in the country. Looking to get recruited? Director Chris Cameron keeps an open dialogue with the nation's top college lacrosse coaches. Over 400 New Hampshire Tomahawks alumni have played at the college level, including the ACC, Big East, Big Ten, Ivy, NESCAC, NE10, and more. The New Hampshire Tomahawks coaching staff has over 100 coaches, including current high school varsity and college coaches. The Tomahawks offer training for players of all ages, clinics, camps, and leagues, along with spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse. Visit NewHampshireTomahawks.com and girls.nhtomahawks.com. How can you reach your team's fundraising goals at no risk and no cost? MG Sports offers a variety of products to make your team's fundraiser a success. Their products include tickets and discount cards to hundreds of local businesses. MG Sports now has a digital platform where athletes can raise funds in the comfort and safety of their own home. So become another athletic program like Bedford, Goffstown, or Memorial that sets fundraising records every season. MG Sports, fundraising made easy. Visit mgsportsfundraising.com to start raising money for your team today.
Now the tone has been set here in Derry, and we are ready to rumble. Nick Anastas, Justin Gorham with you. It's our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance, a rematch of last season. The championship affair that was won by the Bulldogs, and these two teams on the inside track to get back to that March championship date. This could be an appetizer, a preview of sorts.
Absolutely, and they're going to find out a lot about each other this year that they don't know from last year. A little bit different teams. Bedford similar, Pinkerton plays different, coach different.
Jackson Marshall to jump it up. He gets two hands on it. And it's tracked down in the backcourt by Parker Bienvenu Cernuda, the 5'8 junior point guard. Crowd on their feet. A pretty much 50-50 split between Bulldog and Astro fans. Drive and dish, little layup, little short. A good one for Charles Ludden, who couldn't convert. Meanwhile, this one off the foot of Luke Soden, turned back over to Pinkerton.
Yeah, early turnovers, got to be careful. Again, nerves. You know, I know it's a regular season game. Look at the crowd. This is a nerve situation early, too. You know, turn the ball over, maybe miss some shots you normally make.
Marshall catching fire, the three in the hole.
Tell you what, Jackson's not nervous.
Well, that's what he can do. Came in averaging 37 a game. Went for over 40 every other game in the month of January. Nico Bedoyan, meanwhile, is going to put Bedford on the board. The 5'9 junior guard finds the touch in the lane. And it's now a 3-2 Pinkerton lead. Up the floor, Christian Brander. That's a long two for the junior.
Good way, broke the press. You know, you put Jackson Marshall in the middle, 6'9", all 6'9" of them, you throw the ball up. That's a great middle.
Good crossover, and there's the finish. There's Brady O'Connell, the 6'1 junior who got the step. His first bucket brings Bedford within one at 5'4".
You know, he's averaging 15 and a half as well. He's top 15 in scoring in the state as well.
Here's Andrew Brander, inside out. Ludden for three. That one halfway down, but pops out. Soden his first rebound. Bedford looking for their first lead. Soden turns on the gas and gets it off the window with the left hand.
You got to cut that baseline off. If you're going to force some baseline, you better get some help. Right now, Pinkerton, too. That's a little help defense needs to be involved. Baseline, you get beat that way, you got to get help.
And now a Let's Go Bedford chant coming from the Bulldog fans here on the road.
Yep,
meanwhile, Ludden is calling for traveling.
There it is.
That is the first Pinkerton turnover.
Really good move going to the basket. Nice pump fake. Slid the feet. Floor, I got to be honest, looks a little bit slippery. Maybe it's me.
O'Connell. Kazajanski down the lane, switches to the left hand, but can't connect. The rebound to Marshall. Cernuda in traffic. Now Parker Bienvenu Cernuda not afraid to go to the rim. Meanwhile, Bedoyan going to set up Soden for three. That one in and out. Kept alive by Bedoyan. Three-pointer, Kazajanski.
You got to guard him. If he starts feeling it, he shoots much better when he gets a little rhythm going.
First, second chance points either way. 3 for Brander out of the corner. No, but there's Andrew, his brother, on the offensive glass. Marshall, meanwhile, is fouled on the floor. They're going to wave off him on the floor. And that'll reward Pinkerton with the ball out of bounds here, trailing 9-7, nearly 3 minutes gone by in this first quarter.
A couple of really good offensive rebounds early.
Marshall is it right back to Cernuda. Now back to Marshall. Catches the skip pass, pulls the trigger. Three-pointer is too strong, and Kazajanski has it. Wants to run. Lost the dribble. Christian Brander the other way. Into the corner for Andrew, and now Pinkerton will reset. Inside, Marshall can't control it off the lob.
Good look, right idea. You're going to have to make sure you throw, again, really good inside passes where he wants the ball. And Bedford has a little bit of size, Henryshawn, 6'3", 6'4", got some size, got a little weight.
That's the 6'5" senior Spencer Henryshawn who throws the ball out of bounds.
Oh, a little pressure, little extra pressure for Pinkerton early, especially up high on the ball, kind of denying the ball to your wings. That's, you don't want Henryshawn up top handling the ball either. He's one of your big men.
Led to back-to-back Bedford turnovers. Meanwhile, Ludden with a teardrop. Well, a good cut without the ball. Ludden rewarded. The 2 in the paint ties the game, and then Pinkerton gets another steal. Andrew Brander trying to twist and turn, fires a pass that's tipped out of bounds into the Bedford bench.
Great
Moreno is hot.
Oh, we might have a little referee discussion. Ball might have been tipped, so could be going the other way. Not sure. We might switch that call, I think. Yep. Nope. Maybe. We did. Oh, my.
Now it's going to stay with Pinkerton.
That might be a good replay for our Wizard to see if anybody touched that ball. I don't know. I mean, they had a discussion, but you never can be too sure, can you?
Pinkerton will look to wrestle the lead back. Marshall inside out. Andrew Brander thought about it. Bedford in a man-to-man. They're going to force a traveling violation here and get the ball back, but we're expected to see multiple defensive looks tonight, as usual, from Coach Moreno.
And when you can do that, if you're able to switch defenses, as we've talked about multiple times, that's an enormous plus for your team.
There's a foul on Christian Brander.
Had his hand wrapped around him, a little bit of a grab. Still, though, you know what they're doing? They're getting in the passing lane. Hands are in the passing lane. They're in deny. And they're trying to get steals and make Bedford, go back door. You got Jackson Marshall on the baseline that can help out. He needs to just stay in the middle. Henryshawn's not an outside threat. If he's playing man defense, he should stand right in the middle.
Bedoyan will pull up. Well, he's developed a pretty good pull-up shot. That's his second field goal. And the junior / 3-year starter off to a good start here tonight. Bedford out in front again, 11-9. Marshall catching fire 3 is off target. Kazajanski wrestles away his second rebound. And now foul here is coming against Pinkerton. It's going to be a reach on Bienvenu Cernuda.
And he can't get in foul trouble. He's their main ball handler. They need him in the game. He never comes out. If the game is close, he never comes out because he does such a good job with the ball.
First subs for Bedford. Henryshawn, the starting center, is going to sit. And they'll bring a shooter onto the floor. That's Thomas Braga, the 6'2 senior. There's a leaner with the left hand, and now the Soden shot.
And that's a jump ball.
Is ruled a jump ball. It was stuck on the rim, pinned between the iron and the glass.
On the opposite side, Nick, you don't see that very often. The opposite side on the drop. You never see that. Okay, that's a first for this guy. Yep,
yeah.
Haven't seen that happen yet. Not like that. There it is. Ooh, almost.
Meanwhile, O'Connell lost the ball in the lane. Ludden trying to find it. Looks like Coach Dunham wanted a foul in the backcourt. Instead, it's a Brander 3. A high bouncer is going to give Pinkerton the lead.
Now, you do not want him in rhythm. Bedford does not want Christian Brander in rhythm.
5 points early for the junior. Meanwhile, Kazajanski has got the touch.
He's in rhythm.
That one from straight away, his second from downtown.
He's not a guy, too, that's going to give you a lot of threes normally, but if you can get those from him, again, that's another plus.
Marshall under the rim, able to spin it off the window.
Way too easy inside.
That's his second bucket. 5 in this first quarter. Good backdoor cut, and Bedoyan's got the layup. The assist there from Braga. Bedoyan with 6. Back and forth we go in this first quarter. Coming up on 2 minutes remaining. Bienvenu Cernuda off target there. Ludden knocked to the ground and fouled on the offensive rebound. They're going to say he was shooting.
I don't know about that, but what about that high screen? Did you see that high screen by Jackson Marshall? And you know what? That's not a foul. Sometimes they'll call that a foul. He just was there, and the offensive player ran him right into it. That was a beautiful, even though it looked horrendous, it was a beautiful screen. I don't think Bedoyan felt very good, though, after that screen. At all.
He was square. Well, Ludden gotten off to a good start. 6'2 senior, one of the co-captains, along with Jackson Marshall. So the free throw will tie the game at 16. Meanwhile, subs from Coach Dunham. As Ludden comes off the floor, we get our first look at James Wallace, 6'3 senior. Bedoyan drive and kick. O'Connell ready in the corner. The high arcing three is around the rim and out. Andrew Brander crashes the glass, and Pinkerton wants to move. Bienvenu Cernuda out of the corner. Marshall opposite wing. 3 around the rim and out. Rebound Kazajanski. Trying to pump the brakes. Got caught with the ball on his hip. That's a carry.
Got that sucker stuck right on his hip.
And that is Bedford's 6th turnover here in this first quarter.
Find your point guard. Find your lead guard. Have him bring the ball. Maybe go and give and go, right? Old school. Get your point guard the ball. Let him bring the ball up.
Christian Brander, look out. That one hits the rim twice. Poked out. Bienvenu Cernuda is there. Good ball fake, and there's the lefty finish.
He rebounds really well for a guy his size. Really well. You know, Nick, that ball hit the strap, too. They didn't see that. That should have been probably waved off.
Meanwhile, Soden, pull up.
Beautiful 15-footer. Love it.
Second bucket for Luke Soden. And back and forth we go. Getting some rhythm here as we hit the 1 minute mark first quarter.
Yeah, that time, too, Pinkerton decided to bring the ball up a little slower. Maybe take your time, get the ball inside.
That's Braga trying to front the post. Marshall calling for a touch. They finally get it to him.
There he is, too deep, too deep. That's where he wants to catch the ball. If he catches the ball there, it's over.
7 points for Marshall. And now 6 for Luke Soden on the pull-up. We're tied to get it 20. 30 seconds to go. Coach Dunham going to flash the signal. And then bend down in a crouch. Have a quick word with his point guard as he comes into the front court.
See if we go one shot, maybe last shot. I love the last shot.
Here's the steal. O'Connell picked his pocket, goes to the rim, and there's the finesse finish to put Bedford back out in front. Final 10 seconds. Pinkerton wants the last laugh. Andrew Brander puts his shoulder down, leaves it for Marshall. There's the catch. There's the finish. It comes with 2 seconds. Intercepted by Cernuda. And that is how the first quarter will come to an end. A fitting conclusion. We're right where we started. 22 apiece after 1 second quarter. Coming up next, you are watching our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
Start of the second quarter here in Derry. Nick Anastas, Justin Gorham with you. It's our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week presented by Beals Insurance. Jackson Marshall is going to put Pinkerton back out in front.
What do we get there? A beautiful flex cut. And, of course, who's there on the missed shot? Jackson Marshall for an easy rebound and put back.
Marshall in double figures already with 11. That's a deep three.
A little bit too deep. A little bit.
Brady O'Connell the rebound. And Bedford trying to tie with a 2, maybe take the lead with a 3. Braga thought about it, steps into a 2, and leaves it short.
You know, Bedford does such a good job with pull-up jump shots, especially Soden, but that was a nice pull-up too.
Meanwhile, we have a turnover here. A travel is called. And it's the Astros' 6th giveaway tonight. Bedford with 7 turnovers in that first quarter. Of course, it's a battle between the top 2 teams in Division I. Bedford, the lone unbeaten, the defending champ, 14-0, coming into tonight. Pinkerton on their heels at 13-1, winners of 3 straight since their lone loss to Dover a couple of weeks back. It's also, of course, a rematch of last year's Division I state championship. This one is poked out. O'Connell going to keep it alive. Goes backdoor for Soden. Leans into a shot but can't bang it home. And there's Marshall with his 5th rebound. Back and forth first quarter. That one in and out for Marshall. 3-point line has been tough for the senior as he's 1 for 5. Meanwhile, O'Connell tried to float one there. No. Henrichon's second try. No. And there's the 5'8" Bienvenu Cernuda in the paint for Pinkerton to wrestle it away.
He's a really good rebounding guard, especially, again, for his size. He's always near the ball.
Brander can't bank that one. And this one rolls off the fingertips of Marshall. Well, what'd you think of the pace of that first quarter?
I liked it. I think both teams were pretty happy with it. Pinkerton slowed it down a couple times. Bedford didn't press, though, as much as I had hoped they would. I thought maybe they'd stay with it a little bit longer. They haven't done it in a while. Let's see if they do it again here in the second quarter. Too many turnovers, though, early, I think.
And while Soden is fouled.
Didn't see a lot there, but hands were up. Got lucky with those, a couple plays knocked around. A good block from behind, though.
Yeah, they're going to get it on Ludden. First team foul either way, nearly 2 minutes into this second quarter.
And Soden does not miss very many free throws.
No. 6 points in that first quarter. He's got 7, which is leading the way so far for Bedford. Bulldogs looking to improve to 15-0. Ultimately hoping to string together back-to-back undefeated seasons.
That's tough to do. It's almost like, coaches said the games against Memorial that were close, you kind of want that to happen. Sometimes you almost go, well, if we lose one, it wakes you up a little bit. Kind of gives you something more to play for if you lose one. But, hey, if you can go undefeated.
Meanwhile, Ludden gets 6 points of his own for Pinkerton. Good step back there.
He was a big contributor the other night in that comeback win against Wyndham.
Pinkerton trailed by as many as 10 in that one. Meanwhile, here's Kazajanski, who has brought his A game tonight for Bedford. 8 points, 4 rebounds in this first half. A good pull up the other way. It's Brander. It's Andrew, the senior.
Yeah, his first basket, too. I know he's the guy who can score the basketball.
Got a good couple of looks early, but couldn't convert. Meanwhile, Kazajanski, tough angle for a bouncer.
Yeah, way too easy, though. Defensively, just kind of matador defense. There was no movement. He just went to the basket and laid it up. Got to work hard. You got to make him do something different.
It's the first to double digits for Bedford with 10. It's been taken off the rim. A good rebound there by O'Connell, who's fouled in the backcourt immediately on a reach-in from Bienvenu Cernuda. So he's in a little bit of foul trouble. Coach Dunham is going to take his starting point guard off the floor.
That's something they don't need. I think he has 2 fouls.
The 6'4" senior Troy Galler is going to check in for the first time. So a little bit of a bigger look for Pinkerton here.
Now, who do you decide is going to bring the ball up, though?
Right.
Who's going to be our ball handler, primary ball handler for Pinkerton?
Well, they're going to stick with a man-to-man. Both teams have been in man throughout this first half. So into the hole. Going to float and score it. Soden now with 10.
Good footwork inside. If I'm Jackson Marshall right now, too, I'm not going out on Henderson. I'm staying in the paint. I know they're playing man defense, but again, you want to play man defense with zone principles, so you keep your big man right in the middle so he can kind of help inside, not go way out, and doesn't need to help on screens right now.
Our broadcast tonight brought to you by Beals Insurance, locations in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance gets you the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Visit BealsInsurance.com. Also by MG Sports Fundraising. That's fundraising made easy. MG Sports Fundraising is the official fundraising partner of Friday Night Lights New Hampshire. Visit MGSportsFundraising.com. Start raising money for your team today. And finally by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. Showcase and development for college lacrosse. Visit NHTomahawks.com and also girls.NHTomahawks.com. Nick Anastas, Justin Gorham with you. It's our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance. It's been back and forth. Lost count of how many lead changes we've had in this first half. Right now, Bedford clinging to a 2-point lead at 30-28. Here's a good rebound in a crowd off the bounce for O'Connell. Going to find a new shooter who just came on. That's his brother who fires it up off target, Logan O'Connell. The other way goes Brander. He's got his second bucket. Starting to get it going. Kazaczynski is rejected by Marshall.
That's a great block.
The two look at each other.
That is an outstanding block. Where'd we get the foul on that?
And a foul has been called.
Oh, my God. Whoa, let's take another look. Here goes the Wizard with our replay.
Coach Dunham not happy.
Maybe you can call that on Brander, but Jackson got that.
Collision at full speed between the two best athletes arguably on the floor. As we get another look there.
Well, maybe a little foul there, I guess, a little bit, but good block. Probably got him. Little body foul. Now that we see the replay from that angle, good call.
Kazaczynski short ends the first free throw attempt. Coach Dunham is going to go back to the bench. Wallace will sit. Christian Brander returns. Kazaczynski short again. And it's snatched up by Troy Geller for Pinkerton. So an 0-for-2 trip for the Bedford senior. He leaves the game tied, and now Marshall is going to put Pinkerton back out in front.
That's bread and butter, Nick, right? Just bring the ball down the floor, throw it in there. If you get behind two, you can never going to get too far behind if you just put them on the low block.
Kazaczynski traveling.
That's 8 turnovers here in the first half.
That's 7 in that first quarter, their first giveaway since.
Yeah, you got to make sure we don't. Too many travels. We've seen already 4 or 5 travel calls that have been the turnovers. So you got to make sure you set your feet.
Coach Moreno going to take Kazaczynski out for the first time. Henderson returns. Meanwhile, fadeaway 3 for Andrew Brander won't go. It's tipped to Marshall. Going to heave it up from the free throw line.
And that's a nice 15-footer. Another fortuitous bounce for Jackson.
Got the hot hand in this first half. Got it 17 now. 3 minutes to go until the break. Braga is too strong. Galler is second board, and now the Astros look to extend the lead. Deep 3, too deep there for Marshall.
A little bit too deep.
Bedoya on the board wants to push. The trailer is Soden. He's got his eye on the rim. That 3 is short, but there again is O'Connell. And now a timeout has been called.
Couple bad shots.
By Coach Moreno.
Couple bad shots. we know that Jackson and Luke are both really good three-point shooters, right? We know that. Get a little bit closer to the three-point line. It's a better shot. You don't have to shoot from the volleyball line. You can move in, right? Move in. You want good shots. And those last two shots kind of not really in the flow of the offense, not great. So I think both coaches, it's a good time for a timeout. You can remind them, let's move the ball around a little bit, right, and get really good looks. And I'm just going to go, I got to be honest, I'm going to go old school right now. I'm putting Jackson on the block, low block. I'm going to throw the ball inside, and I'm going to say, stop it, stop us, stop me. And then when you do, we're going to throw it back out and get some easy threes.
Well, we are right in the mix of this lively, spirited, large crowd.
You said it.
Here in Derry, where it's really the mecca of New Hampshire basketball, at least for tonight.
Oh, I
no
think so.
storyline is bigger statewide than the two arguably not only best teams but better programs in Division I. Certainly Bedford as the defending champ. Pinkerton was right there with them last year and have trail them by only a game coming into tonight. Of course, a win for the Astros would place both these teams at 14-1. The tiebreaker would be in the court of Pinkerton. So this is
absolutely,
from a seeding perspective, a huge game with 2 weeks remaining in the regular season.
Yeah, I think both teams are going to have, obviously, home court as we go forward. I don't see the only time that they're going to meet each other will end up being in the finals because they're going to be on one end or the other. Yep.
Here's an offensive foul. Now Marshall able to step in front of Soden and draw the charge. And that's got this home side of the gym excited.
When your best player and your biggest player takes a charge, that should rile up your team. That's a huge motivational play. Huge. And a 5-second call if we're not careful. Already we've seen, wow, that was pretty close.
Bienvenu Cernuda back on the floor despite the two fouls. Marshall, high post, back door looking for Christian Brander, into the corner for Ludden. Ends up wide open, and he knocks down the three-pointer.
You know, that was a great ball fake that he did on accident, and it worked wonderfully.
O'Connell able to hang and score.
Yep.
And the foul, able to somehow get that off despite leaning to his right. Able to bank it home, and a chance for one more that quickly quieted the home side of the crowd.
Oh, I think he took a shot in the head or the top of the head by Geller. Kind of whacked him in the head, or maybe Jackson got him. I don't know who they call that foul on.
It was on Geller.
Oh, I think Jackson's the one that got him in the head. You see that? Oh, he got away with a freebie.
Tough take. Gutsy take for the junior.
Well, he's been known, too. He does a good job switching hands, goes left hand, jumps in the air, rotates it over.
The junior is a 2-year starter who played despite a late season leg injury in last year's championship. Meanwhile, backdoor, it's Marshall.
See that adjustment, Nick? They were going for the lob play. They had the backdoor set. They were going to try and throw it up so he can catch it and dunk it. The crowd goes nuts. But he adjusted. He was able to catch that ball anyway. There it is again, folks.
There's a travel.
7 travels we've seen so far in this game.
It's a 3-man crew tonight, and they have called it tight in this first half. That is 9 turnovers for Bedford.
Comes that Bedford press.
First time we've seen this.
Can't lob it.
And it forces a turnover. Kazajanski the steal up the floor, but Doyen never quite have it. And it goes off the junior's leg.
Yeah, we look at this now. This game could be won on turnovers. Whoever turns the ball over the most is not going to win this game.
Pinkerton with their largest lead on the board at 39-33. Layup won't go. Rebound for Braga. O'Connell whips it back door. It's broken up by Andrew Brander.
That was close to another turnover. Got to be smart with the ball, right? Take your time. When they run backdoor cuts, dribble at your teammate, go backdoor. They've beaten Pinkerton baseline multiple times.
Got a blocking foul, and that's number 3.
That is, wow. He's going to have to sit.
On Bienvenu Cernuda.
Now, it does make a difference in ball handling, by the way, too. You can tell the difference when he's out. Because the Branders are shooters, right? You have Ludden handling the ball, bringing the ball up. That was probably a good call. I think that was a good call. He wasn't really there. O'Connell's had his struggles at the line. We've seen it a couple games where he's had some missed free throws.
Not to mention it's very loud. The standing Pinkerton student section is in the right ear of O'Connell.
It's rocking and rolling in here.
No problem there. He's 2 for 3 at the line tonight. He's got Bedford back within 5. Marshall for 3. Another one that's a little too strong. Kazajanski the board. He's hit the glass well in this first half with a team-high 5 rebounds. Here's Soden. Going to spin, going to pull up, and going to bury and give a look at the Astro fans.
Beautiful pull-up jumper off the spin.
Got 12 in this first half. Final 35 seconds. Coach Moreno trying to pump up this Bulldog defense. Wallace to his right. Andrew Brander trying to sneak into the lane. Has his pass batted away. O'Connell keeps it alive. And a foul is called on the catch as Ludden was knocked down. The foul is on Bedoyan, who shrugs his shoulders.
He tried to throw the ball back in the air, and he got pushed down. Good block shot, by the way, as well. We saw that nice block without fouling. See if they have a side out of bounds play where they try and go inside. They got, right now, look, we're being kind of double teamed. They're front in the post, and we have Kazajanski behind.
That leaves open Wallace. The 3, though, is off target, and there's Braga with the rebound. Down to 15 seconds. Soden lost it out of bounds. Last touch by Pinkerton. One of the defenders got a finger on it.
Yeah, he wanted the foul. Thought he got hit in the wrist.
It'll come with just under 12 seconds to go. Bedford perhaps thinking tie game at halftime. They're down 3.
Last shot. I don't want to give Pinkerton another shot.
O'Connell rejected by Marshall again.
That was a great block.
Violent pin off the window. The ball ended up out of bounds. The clock continued to run, so the officials are going to have to add some time here as we get another look at the rejection.
Maybe a
second emphatic block of this first half by the 6'9" senior Jackson Marshall.
That's a great block. It looked like he almost knocked him down on the follow-through. So, I mean, you could call that on the floor after the shot, or like no shot on the floor foul, but boy, that was a great block. That's the second one. I know the first one they called a foul, but that was beautiful.
So the question is now, how much time are they going to put back on the clock here for Bedford?
Right now we're at 8 minutes, Nick. Anyway, that's a long 8 minutes.
39-36. Bedford lead. I'm sorry, Pinkerton lead. Pinkerton and Bedford really were back and forth throughout that first half until about the midway point of this second quarter, where Pinkerton has played with the lead. Led by as many as 7 officially. That has been cut to 3 here, and Bedford again trying to beat the buzzer. Hoping to cut into that margin even further.
And I think when you're Pinkerton, you're playing at home, you want to continue to play with the lead. You want Bedford to have to keep working hard to come back, to keep coming back. Now, Bedford can score in bunches and within minutes, so I don't think that's a big issue. But .9 is going to have to be a catch and chuck. So, they're going to try and dive to the basket. Do we get Soden open in the corner?
Well, the ball's thrown into the backcourt. Soden tracks it down, and that'll do it.
So no shot.
So, after a tied first quarter, the Astros wrestled away the lead away from Bedford and will take a 39-36 halftime advantage into the locker room. Coming up in just a few moments, stats, highlights, analysis. A look back at that first half. Out-of-town scoreboard, all the good stuff. But before we go to break, Justin, your initial thoughts there. This game has been hyped for a while. We're halfway home. Your thoughts on the first 16 minutes?
I think right now the two teams are pretty evenly matched. I think the advantage inside obviously goes to Pinkerton. I think that overall Bedford has shot better from the field, mostly 15-footers. Don't have a lot of, three-point shots. They have, two threes from Kazajanski early, and he's not a three-point shooter. But it depends. Second half, if Pinkerton decides to slow the game down and goes inside continually, then the game will change dramatically for Bedford.
All right, coming up, More in a moment as we dive into that first half and out-of-town scores as well. You are watching our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week presented by Beals Insurance.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com. The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse competition, not just in the state, but in the country. Looking to get recruited? Director Chris Cameron keeps an open dialogue with the nation's top college lacrosse coaches. Over 400 New Hampshire Tomahawks alumni have played at the college level, including the ACC, Big East, Big Ten, Ivy, NESCAC, NE10, and more. New Hampshire Tomahawks coaching staff has over 100 coaches, including current high school, varsity, and college coaches. The Tomahawks offer training for players of all ages, clinics, camps, and leagues, along with spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse. Visit NewHampshireTomahawks.com and girls.nhtomahawks.com. How can you reach your team's fundraising goals at no risk and no cost? MG Sports offers a variety of products to make your team's fundraiser a success. Their products include tickets and discount cards to hundreds of local businesses. MG Sports now has a digital platform where athletes can raise funds in the comfort and safety of their own home. So become another athletic program like Bedford, Goffstown, or Memorial that sets fundraising records every season. MG Sports, fundraising made easy. Visit mgsportsfundraising.com to start raising money for your team today.
Halftime here in Derry. It's a 3-point game. Pinkerton with a 39-36 lead over Bedford in our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance. Nick Anastas with Justin Gorham. That first quarter was back and forth, about as tight as it gets. We were even at 22 after one. And then the second quarter, more of the same, at least early on. Over the final 3 or 4 minutes, Pinkerton able to break away a little bit, establishing at one point a 7-point edge. Bedford comes back to clip that to 3. We were talking off air, good pace to that first half, good energy both ways. This one has been fun, and we expect more of the same coming up here in the second half.
You know, when you add this crowd, you had a wonderful point. It has a college game feel or a championship game feel. And this many people you don't normally get at a regular high school game. So you have a school that is, Pinkerton is what, I'm not from here, but it's
about 3,100.
Yeah, but a very old school as well. We're looking at, 75 years old or more. And Bedford is what? A relatively new school.
Yes.
And they've won championships in everything. I don't think there's a sport that they've not done, unless they haven't won one maybe in bowling or fishing that they have now in the NHIAA.
I wouldn't bet on it.
I don't know if they've won those or not. They may have, but they're very successful. I think that comes from good feeder programs and, good involvement from everybody. But Pinkerton's the same way. Good feeder programs. They've won championships here in everything. You look at it on the board, the football championships, they range back from 1956 to 2014. And lately they've always been in the mix in basketball. So, they're not really rivals, but because they've both been so good the last couple of years, this is a rivalry.
A budding rivalry.
Yeah, it's going to...
For sure.
If it continues, this could go on for forever if these two teams, with the way they're kind of the people that are involved and the parents and all that.
Well, I think supporters for both teams would love to see a rematch in the championship round.
I know you would, and I know I would.
This could be a preview of that rematch, but most likely it would have to occur in the championship, as these two teams have the best records in Division I, and there's a little bit of a gap between 2 and 3. Bedford at 14-0. Pinkerton, after a 3-game win streak, is 13-1. Nashua North at 10-4. Titans have won 6 in a row.
Yeah, they played well. We saw them the other night, right?
And then we see Trinity and Exeter both tied at 9-4. South has slipped a bit, dropped 2 straight. They're 9-5. Wyndham, a 2-game losing streak as well. They're 8-5. So
Wyndham is scary though, and we saw them push Pinkerton to the very end until Jackson took over in the end of the game and ended up with 17 points in the fourth quarter and finished with 21 rebounds. But see, that's kind of how I look at this game. If you decide at the end, he's shot too many threes right now, I think, for him. He's a good three-point shooter. I'm not saying that he's not. But his bread and butter and their bread and butter is him on the low block. You throw the ball inside, and you say, all right, stop him. So in the second half, I'm looking forward to saying, hey, let's throw the ball into Jackson, and we're going to go inside out. We're going to play like it was in 1980 and 1990.
Marshall, 17 points, 7 rebounds in that first half. Bedford will have the ball to begin, and we are underway here in the third quarter. Bulldogs down by 3, and they turn it over on their opening possession. Had 10 giveaways in that first half, something that we know does not sit well with Coach Moreno.
No, that's just too many, especially when you're playing a team that, is very close to you, not only in standings, but in skill level and wins and all that. You want to make sure you don't turn the ball over.
So Pinkerton looking to extend the lead, trying to make it a 2-possession game. Brander for 3. No. Ludden to his right. You got it.
Ludden is so valuable. So valuable.
He's in double figures with 11. The co-captain. Makes it a 5-point game again. Kathajanski backdoor up and under. Couldn't get it to go. Marshall changed the shot and comes down with the rebound.
And that's what he does. If he stands down low and he's playing man, but he helps like that, then he's going to change all kinds of shots.
Marshall in the post. Spin move. Going to get that one to spin around the inside of the rim and drop. 19 now for Marshall. Pinkerton's lead. continuing to grow here with a minute gone by in this third quarter. They matched their largest lead from the first half. It's a 7-point game at 43-36. O'Connell into the corner. Kazajanski catching fire off target. Andrew Brander with the big board. Looking to power out all the way to the rim for two.
Man, he went from the length of the floor. And you know what? I can live with that Kazajanski three. If I'm Pinkerton, I'll live with that.
Timeout, Bedford. So the Astros come out of the locker room. They grab the momentum. They extend this now to a 9-point advantage for the first time. And Andrew Brander showing what he can do in the open floor. He's a former starter. In fact, started as a point guard.
Yeah.
Back in the 2002. 2 years he's been at Brackish Academy, returned to Pinkerton this offseason. Started off the season kind of a reserve role.
Yeah,
he's now in the starting lineup, and here he is running wild in the biggest regular season game of the year for any team.
Yeah, you know, it's the perfect time, right, for him to kind of get going. He's worked his way into the starting lineup. It took him a few games. You know, we saw them earlier. I think we had Wallace was a starter, and Brander would come off the bench and get a few minutes, but he's worked his way into shape and gotten better, and I think Pinkerton's better because he's gotten better.
Of course, Christian Brander, his younger brother, has been in the lineup as well. There's a three for Soden, just when Bedford needs an answer. The 6'4" senior is going to give it to him.
And that's his first three. And you know he's a good shooter, so you can't leave him open.
He's got a team-high 15 points. Ludden is off target. Soden is on the glass. Soden is going to put this off the glass at the other end for two more. A coast-to-coast play for Luke Soden. And Bedford all of a sudden is back within a couple of possessions. 45-41. There's the steal. Thomas Braga to the rim. And it's a 2-point game again.
Yeah, turnovers and just some bad decisions. Pinkerton side. And you got to make sure you guard Soden. You have to make sure whoever's guarding him.
There's Marshall.
You just say, I'm not going to let him catch the ball, and I'm not going to give him any threes. We'll give him twos, but we're not going to give up threes.
21 now for Marshall. Pinkerton pushes the lead back to 4. Nearly 3 minutes gone by, third quarter. Coach Moreno trying to direct the offense. O'Connell pulls the trigger on a deep three. Soden wrestles it down in the corner. And Bedford's going to have another try. Shot won't go. Bedoyan back to Soden, and that three is good.
Can't give him extra shots.
Can't give him two looks like that in a row. Soden too good of a shooter to miss twice from the same spot. So it's a 1-point game at 47-46. This just a moments ago after Pinkerton took their largest lead of the night, 45-36. Pushed that lead to 9. It's now back to 1 as we head towards the midway point third quarter.
And that's just all of a sudden he called that timeout, and Soden just went crazy. But he can do that. That's what he does. He's a scorer.
Andrew Brander, spin and drop. This one poked loose. Galler loses it. Bedoyan, a step-through move, is going to draw a foul.
Yeah, that's just, another turnover. Pinkerton now, look at the tide has changed a little bit. Momentum has shifted toward Bedford after that timeout. Great timeout call. Just make a minor adjustment and say, listen, Luke, we need you to get some baskets. That's what he probably said. Luke, just get some baskets.
It's a game of runs, as we know. Pinkerton scored 6 straight. Bedford responded with a 10-2 run. This one goes in and out for Bedoyan. Nico with 6 points in that first half.
Interestingly enough, everybody always complains about this, but it's 9 free throws to 2. Bedford with 9 free throws shot, and Pinkerton has only shot and made 2. Here's that Bedford press.
No problem for Pinkerton. Christian Brander, long 2. No, Marshall is fouled on the catch by Henrishon.
Another offensive rebound. Got to push him way out.
Easier said than done.
It's very difficult to do, but you have to make an effort to box out. And you know what you do? You teach a lot of times you just face him. You just stay right in front, you face him, and you try and push and then turn and do the best you can and keep him off the glass.
Here he is. A man amongst boys down there in the low block, surrounded by Bedford jerseys. Meanwhile, Kazajanski is fouled. He strikes very quickly.
Not a bad foul because he missed the last 2 free throws he shot. So I think they called that on Galler, is it?
It's Galler.
Yeah. He's got a couple like that, and he did the move like this, but I'd rather have him call it on him than Jackson. So
got a 1-point game again. Kazajanski, 10 in the first half, his first point since. 3-year varsity player. Around the rim and out. Offensive rebound, Braga. Rejected by Marshall.
Good rebound, but you got to pump fake, baby. Pump
Up
fake.
the floor, Brander back to Ludden for 2.
Notice they've kind of made that run, though, a little bit, and Cernuta's not in there. Bienvenu Cernuta, my fault, not in there. And when he's in there, they play a little bit differently.
Pinkerton, senior point guard, on the bench with 3 fouls. All 3 came in that first half. Meanwhile, Soden trying to lean into that one. Braga down low. Bedoyan double pump. Counted and the foul.
Bedoyan has been huge today. He typically doesn't get a lot of points. He's more of a distributor of the ball, and he's got, 8 points today, and, a chance to get you another free throw here, 9, and make it a tie game.
51-50. 3.5 to go, third quarter. Wallace returns for Pinkerton.
I think Galler has 3 fouls as well.
As Galler visibly unhappy on the Pinkerton bench. Bedoyan completes the old-fashioned three-point play, and we are tied at 51. Bedford has come back from as many as 9 in this third quarter. Bedoyan trying to pick the pocket of Christian Brander. His brother bails him out with a 3.
Nice shot. They run the little flex. Have a nice flex cut. They try to get the downstream for the jumper.
9 points. Meanwhile, control. Rebound, Marshall sends it the length of the floor. Brander trying to save it and does so to Ludden. Now Brander in the corner is going to get saved by his head coach, who calls a full timeout here with inside of 3 minutes remaining. Our broadcast is brought to you by Beals Insurance, locations in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Visit BealsInsurance.com. Also by MG Sports Fundraising. That's fundraising made easy. MG Sports Fundraising is the official fundraising partner of Friday Night Lights New Hampshire. Visit mgsportsfundraising.com. Start raising money for your team today. And finally, by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. Showcase and development for college lacrosse. Visit nhtomahawks.com and also girls.nhtomahawks.com. Nick Anastas, along with
Justin Gorham.
I'm going to let you clear the throat.
Green tea, baby. Green tea.
We are in really the epicenter in terms of basketball in the state of New Hampshire tonight.
This is it.
A packed house, as you mentioned, a college-type feel. And these two teams have not disappointed. Pinkerton, after a back-and-forth first half, took a 3-point lead into the locker room. As Ludden comes out of the timeout, puts his head down, gets in the lane, and scores off the glass. Bedford, after trailing by 9 early in this third quarter, rallied back to tie it. The last 5 have gone to Pinkerton, and it's now 56-51. Meanwhile, Elsmore, the sophomore, just came on, misses. Ludden at the other end is fouled. Both teams have looked to get out and run at times tonight, including their.
Yeah, whenever you have a fast break opportunity, you want to take it. And Pinkerton, Coach told us at the beginning of the year they want to run with the ball. They want to be a fast break team. They want to push it. They want to attack offensively. And Bedford plays the same way, so that was a good opportunity. Ludden has played well. Didn't make that free throw, but he's played very well so far.
13 points for Ludden.
It's only the third free throw of the game for them. Nick, am I right, or am I mathematically incorrect on that one as usual?
No, 2 for 2 in the first half. Ludden goes 1 for 2 here.
So big free throw disparity in the game now. I mean, that could change as we go forward. They haven't been hammering Jackson, though, at all.
Well, Ludden almost got his hands on that one. Soden recovers, rises, line drive miss. Marshall is there for his 10th board.
That was really good defense. Had a hand on the ball, got a block shot on that. Ludden does all that stuff, all the little extra stuff.
Marshall knocked down on the catch and foul by Bedoyan. It's been a rough and tumble affair tonight. Hard-fought game. Spirited fan bases for both schools going at each other.
Yeah, Jackson's screen there, he may have moved a little bit, kind of knocked him down. And
so Bedoyan commits the third-team foul. 3 each way in this third quarter. Ludden for 3.
Ludden again.
He's looked to score the ball in this third quarter. He's got 7 of his 16 since halftime. O'Connell, pump fake. Marshall got a piece, I think. Bedoyan, short. Marshall clears the glass.
See, there he is, changing shots. He's changing shots inside.
Brander rejected by Kazajanski as we go tit for tat on defense.
See how high, if we looked at that, how high Brady O'Connell had to shoot that ball to get it over the outstretched hand of Jackson, and
as a result, it was short.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Ludden catching fire. Around the rim and out. Marshall tips the board to himself, spins to his right.
What a spin move.
And he's got this crowd on his feet.
Move. That's footwork, Nick. That is all footwork. What do we got? 6'8", 275. That footwork is phenomenal. And yet he's going to be a baseball player in college.
Up to 11 is the lead. A double-digit advantage on the board for the first time. Soden can't knock down the 3. Christian Brander on the glass on the weak side. Coach Dunham says slow it down. Marshall going to work the perimeter. Brander is going to pull the trigger in the corner. That's too strong. Braga on the glass. We're inside of a minute third quarter. Bedoyan down the lane for 2. Quick answer for the junior.
Yeah, Bedoyan's played well. This is one of his better games I've seen him play. He's really, he scored the ball. He's did a really good job on defense. We haven't had Christian Brander has only made 1 3, and that's who Bedoyan has guarded primarily most of the game.
3-pointer for Marshall. That Bedoyan bucket put an end to an 11-0 Pinkerton run. Bedford down 9 as a result. Bedoyan can't get the roll there. Does get his own miss and works it in off the window.
Yeah, good rebound. Sneaky. That was a sneaky play. It's an offensive rebound and another basket for him.
Astros want the final shot. O'Connell knocks the pass out of bounds. That'll leave Pinkerton with just over 4 seconds to work with.
Now here's where you want to go low block from the out of bounds. If you can get him one-on-one on the low block, that's an easy option. Right now you go corner, make them come out, and then throw the ball inside. You got enough time for one pass inside or inbound and one more pass.
Ludden. Near side, Christian Brander. Line drive miss, and that will bring us to the end of the third quarter. A seesaw third quarter. Pinkerton, after leading by 9, Bedford came back to tie it. Astros go on an 11-0 run and take a 7-point lead into the fourth quarter, 62-55. What will the fourth quarter bring? We find out next. You are watching our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
Well, the fourth quarter has arrived here in Derry. Pinkerton hoping to bring this one over the finish line. Leading Bedford 62-55. They turn it over to begin this fourth quarter. And Soden is going to gallop for an easy 2 and bring Bedford back within 5. Well, another steal. Yeah, back-to-back turnovers for Pinkerton. And then an Astros foul is going to be called. It's against Ludden to reach in. And that makes things a little more interesting as we move further into this fourth quarter. Nick Anastas, Justin Gorham with you. It's our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week presented by Beals Insurance. A battle between undefeated Bedford and 13-1 Pinkerton. A rematch of last year's championship. Astros have played with the lead most of the night. Bedford Soden tried to keep his team in the game, but can't get that layup. Marshall, his 13th rebound to go along with 25 points.
And he changed his shot again. Like, that's a tough shot. If he's not there, Soden makes that shot.
Three-pointer for Christian Brander, up and in.
He's been quiet. He has been quiet. You don't want him to get feeling it all of a sudden.
The junior with 5 points in that first half, his first bucket since. Meanwhile, Bedoyan can't get it. Henryshaw, offensive rebound. O'Connell, a good look at a 3 that won't go. And then an over-the-back foul is going to be called against Bedford's Thomas Braga.
Christian Brander, he just needs to see the ball go in the basket. And the ball just went in the basket there, and you don't want him to all of a sudden start to go have that confidence he normally has at the beginning of the year where he wants to, he makes 11 threes. You can't leave him open.
Hit 11 against Portsmouth back in January. Meanwhile, getting the step is Andrew Brander.
That was a tough shot, too.
He's in double figures now with 11, the third Astro to do so. Soden, the pull-up, mid-range J won't go. It's tipped out of bounds under the basket, and the ball rewarded to Pinkerton.
That is a little bit of a gift from the official.
Coach Moreno, after giving a glare to the referee, is going to call a timeout here. Minute and a half gone by. Fourth quarter, 10-point game. Bedford has not lost a game in 2 calendar years. They went undefeated last year on their way to their first ever Division I state championship. They won the first 14 games out of the gate this year. And as a result, well, they're not used to trailing, not in the fourth quarter.
Not a 10-point
And here they are
deficit.
down 10 on the road with now 6:36 remaining in regulation.
Now, if I put myself in Coach, Dunham, Coach, right? Dunham, yeah. Coach Dunham. Oh, my memory is bad. If I put myself in Coach Dunham's shoes, what I'm going to tell my guys is now, don't turn the ball over. If Bedford decides to press because they're down 10, let's make sure we take our time, get the ball to the middle, and let's get the ball inside, slow the game down a little bit, and get easy baskets inside. Let's go inside out. I know I've said that a few times. I don't want to be, repetitive guy, but throw the ball inside to where you know you're going to get an easy basket, and then they double, you kick it out. But you can slow the game down. You want to maintain that lead. We want Bedford to play from behind. Nobody wants to play from behind. It's a lot of work. There's a lot of fatigue involved. In Bedford today, they haven't really played more than about 6 guys really consistently.
But a short rotation for both these teams.
Now, so one-on-one inside. There it is.
They call for it. They get it to him. And just as they drew it up, Marshall, 10 points in this second half, 27 in the game.
That's it. Just swing the ball around.
Soden, deep 3.
Till you find them open inside, then you can't come back. You can't come down and give up a 3 either. You're going to have to make sure you. Who are the 3-point shooters, right? We know who they are. You got to get a hand up.
That's his third 3-pointer of this second half. Marshall, after having it slapped away, recovers, repositions, regroups, goes up, and scores with the right hand.
Nick, he's just too freaking big.
O'Connell. Backdoor, Braga.
Yeah, good pass. Really good pass.
Bedford. Now they're continuing to hang around. Coming up on 2.5 gone by. Bulldogs trailed by 9. Marshall going to spin and bank it home.
Falling away. Defensive player falls down, tries to get him off balance, and he still makes the shot. Henderson was trying to get a charge.
O'Connell, that's a deep 3.
And what's keeping him in the game, though? Guys are getting open looks, open threes defensively. Pinkerton's got to decide, what are we going to do, right? Deny and get a hand up on the shooters.
It's O'Connell's first bucket since halftime. 3-pointer short. Ludden, the putback, won't get it. Henderson on the glass for Bedford. Quickly the other way. O'Connell can't get the layup to go.
And there's my rebounder, Bienvenu Saruda.
He's back in the game after sitting the whole third quarter. He's going to double pump and score with the left hand.
Yeah, beautiful little spin on that. Love it.
Soden for O'Connell, inside out. Bedoyan, high arcing 3, up and in.
Yeah, he's really stepped up today. This is the best I've seen him play. He has made an impact. Bedoyan
That's his first
impact.
from deep. He's got 17 as we approach the midway point of this fourth quarter. Still a 7-point game, and now a timeout is called by Coach Dunham. Wants a full timeout here to talk it over. Well, reminder, we're looking for subscribers.
Oh, yes, we are. Hit the button,
on
people.
Our YouTube channel.
Hit the button.
Of course, the home of Friday Night Lights New Hampshire is on YouTube. The channel at FNL NH Media. Again, we're doing 2 games next week. I think maybe 4 or 5 after that.
Ooh-ah.
And then another 4 or 5 after that.
Oh, no.
All the way to Championship Sunday. So hit that subscribe button. Make sure you're in the know.
Tell your friends.
As we head down the stretch.
Yes. Tell your friends. And when they watch a game, you know what the greatest thing we've heard, though, Nick? I love when people come up to us and say they like, what we do. Right? They enjoy the product.
Yes.
And they like to hear what we say. They like the analysis. They love your play-by-play. So, but when they say they go home and they watch the game right after they saw the game in person,
right?
I think, okay, are you hitting the subscribe button and are you telling other people to hit? I tell all the students that watch the games at school where I teach at West, hit the subscribe button. It's a little easy. It's so easy just to, on your phone you just blip right there. So easy. Just a little blip. And if you watch on TV, right, you just move the cursor around and hit it. Computer, whatever you got to do.
Meanwhile, Jackson Marshall has come alive here in this fourth quarter. We saw him do that a week ago here tonight when Pinkerton erased a 10-point deficit on their way to a victory over Wyndham. Meanwhile, a loose ball foul is called against Jackson Marshall.
You called a hold on that? Wow, that was an interesting call. Okay.
He battled O'Connell as the ball went out of bounds. They say that he committed the grab. So that's 2 on Marshall. And now we're down to 4 minutes to go in this fourth quarter. Bedford down by 7, trying to make it a 2-possession difference. Into the corner, O'Connell for 3.
See, they've gotten a lot of wide open shots. You notice that, Nick? The shots they're getting, they're making good passes, but they're wide open. So I can't, defensively, Pinkerton's got to lock some people down.
Ball loose, O'Connell on the ground, but he landed out of bounds.
He had a steal and just gave it right back.
They dove head first towards the sideline. And as we get a look there, he was ruled out of bounds, perhaps that back leg. Meanwhile, as play resumes, Marshall double teamed in the corner. Pinkerton's going to swing it. Brander is going to tiptoe and then score up and under.
Nice reverse hand. Right hand, left hand side. Reverse. Like that.
Andrew Brander having one of his better games. The senior with 13 tonight. Meanwhile, a reach-in is called against Bienvenu Cernuda, and that is number 4 against the Astros starting point guard.
Yeah, I don't think you take him out now. You're going to have to let him play, but just make sure he plays good defense and doesn't reach. Don't reach. Move your feet. But if I'm Bedford, I'm going at him. Get him out. They're different when he's not in the game. They're a very different team.
Coming up on 3 minutes remaining, 6-point game. O'Connell, wraparound pass. Kazajanski, back out Soden, deep three, no good. Back iron miss, and there's Bienvenu Cernuda for his 5th rebound. We go inside of 3 minutes. Andrew Brander, straight away 2, won't get it. Marshall got a hand on it. Ball ends up out of bounds. Last touched by Bedford.
Oh, he might have got that. Might have been what would you call that? Like a makeup call from the last one, because I thought he hit that one out. But hey,
O'Connell involved. They say it was last touched by the junior. Meanwhile, Ludden, a good look at it.
Beautiful pass inside. I'll tell you what, Ludden stepped up against Wyndham last week, and Ludden has stepped up again today.
The co-captain. And there is the 4th block of the night for Marshall. It goes off the window. Pull up for Cernuda.
Smart.
He's going to push this back to a 10-point lead.
Smart
Timeout,
play.
Bedford.
That's just defense on one end, doing what you're supposed to do, helping your teammates out. Again, on defense, he's been so good when he's around the basket and they attack it. He changes so many shots. If I'm Coach Dunham, I'm keeping him right in the middle. I'm saying, hey, listen, if your guy can't shoot threes, you play in the middle, you're playing zone by yourself. You're playing zone all by yourself. Maybe you go free throw line, mid-block, under. You just go and bounce around inside and rebound and change shots. Man, look at a block. What a block.
Well, he has protected the rim tonight. 4 block shots by my count. And, of course, he's done a lot of damage on the offensive end as well. We'll tally up all the numbers for you.
We got a lot
coming
of
up on the post-game show, and then there will be.
It's a lot of tallying.
81-71 high-scoring affair tonight. We'll also speak with the winning head coach live on the air shortly after the game. Will it be Coach Moreno or will it be Coach Dunham?
And we've spoken to both of them a couple times, right?
Foul 2.5. Bedford down 10. O'Connell for Braga. He's got the layup.
Great pass on the cut. Make Jackson step up. Cut. Nice play.
Braga with 6 all in the second half, and now a foul is called against Bedford. That's just the first team foul.
Yeah, they have not committed too many fouls. They got away with a couple here and there, but, okay, we have a big disparity free throw-wise, but it's sort of calmed down in the 4th quarter, and I don't see any, nothing too big in this 4th quarter.
Step back. Andrew Brander.
This is the best game he's played so far that you and I have seen him.
Got 15. Bedoyan for Braga. Inside of 2 minutes. Bedford going to have to hurry. O'Connell just got it over Marshall.
Yep. In
fact, Marshall got a finger on it on its way down.
So
that is a goaltend.
Cernuda better be careful, too. He's really bumping Brady O'Connell every time down. Bump.
O'Connell with 8 points in each half.
Got Soden with a reach.
Yep. That'll be the second Bulldog foul. We're down to a minute 42 remaining. Minute 38, excuse me.
And we're still only at 3 fouls to 2, right? So we got a minute 38. What are you going to do? Slow the game down if you're Pinkerton. Take your time. Don't play not to lose. Keep playing your game. But, man, you know what I say. I'm going to beat this dead horse and just say throw the ball inside, right? I know I'm repeating myself, but you got to throw it inside.
Meanwhile, we've got a conversation happening at the scorer's table between the officials and the official scorer.
Both
teams are going to huddle up here as a result. Both coaches look to sneak in a word during the dead time.
Who the foul was on, maybe, or how many fouls do we have? I don't think there's a time issue, do you? Do they? Well, you're going to get the home. Hey, listen.
They haven't moved the clock. It's still at a minute 38.
The home
I think
clock.
they're discussing perhaps the team foul situation, which up on the board it says only 2 against Bedford. I'm not sure if that's what's got Coach Moreno's ire or not. The officials continuing to look up at the scoreboard. But I haven't seen anything change. No, they are going to add 10 seconds.
Okay, so there was a clock situation.
So
that's interesting. Okay.
That's something Coach Moreno must have caught.
Yeah, he probably saw that.
Because he was on fire a moment ago. So 83-75 with a minute 48 remaining.
You got to watch the home clock. That's just home court advantage.
Marshall inside.
Such good body control when he catches the ball inside, and even on those tough passes like that.
Look out. Offensive foul on Kazajanski.
Another charge for your best player, your biggest player, takes another charge. That's your MVP right there. If your best player is taking charges, man, that's motivational. Coach Marino's not happy about that, but it was a blatant charge. You could see it. On a replay, we could see it. You know, if you looked at it in terms of if you were playing a college game or a pro game, they have that bubble underneath the basket, right? The little half circle. That half circle, if you're inside that, you're too far into the basket. So I think
that's what Coach Moreno is.
He was fired up about that.
But
clock issue again, I think, right?
Yeah.
What did we lose, though? We went from 148
down to 124.
Yeah, that's a little too much.
Yep.
That did not take 24 seconds, did it?
So both teams, again, are going to huddle up here and talk it over.
I wonder if they have one of those skipping clock situations. We got to check that out.
If you're just joining us, we had a back and forth first quarter. 22 apiece after one. Pinkerton made their move just before halftime to lead at 39-36. The Astros pushed that lead up to as many as 11 in the third quarter. And Bedford has tried to claw their way back in really ever since. It's now a 10-point game.
That's hard to do.
At 85-75.
Yeah, when you're down 10 to a team like this that has such a dominant force inside, you try and come back because you can just take your time and bring the ball down. And Pinkerton did give up some easy shots, though, to Bedford early in that second half. Real quick ones, too. Even when they got ahead by 11, they came back quick on easy Soden threes, a couple, other twos, but they were wide open shots. It seems they sort of picked up the pressure a little bit and said, all right, we're not going to let those guys get easy threes anymore. But, Luke Soden always finds a way to score. So right now I'm concerned. I'd be concerned that we're not going to let him get threes right in the game. That's what I'm concerned about, him getting threes and Brady O'Connell getting to the basket.
Soden 27 tonight, including 3 made three-pointers. Marshall nearly stripped by Bedoyan. Now they do get the reach-in foul.
Yeah, he got fouled. There was a couple reaches on the play when they tried to tie him up. Notice he had, I believe, Andrew Brander right underneath the basket. He tried to make that pass, and you can see in the replay, that would be Gawler underneath the basket wide open. I think
that is Bedford's 4th team foul.
Look at that body control.
Meanwhile, Marshall, his big night continues, 35 points. And now a steal by Cernuda. He's going to bank this one off the rim twice. Punched out to Ludden. Coach Dunham says pull it out. Ludden is going to finger roll it instead. It's loose. Marshall in the mix. And now he's called for the grab on O'Connell. As Pinkerton gives the foul in the backcourt. 4 team fouls now each way. Just over a minute to go. And a 12-point lead, the largest either way tonight. Pinkerton by a dozen here with 66 seconds remaining.
Nick, that was actually a really good foul. There was 4 guys surrounding him inside. He couldn't get the rebound. He almost had it, Jackson. And good foul, though, on the grab. They don't get an easy basket.
Soden for 3. Short. Bienvenu Cernuda is there. Point guard comes into the front court and draws a foul. On the pass, gets a pat on the back from first-year head coach Mike Dunham, who we are going to try to speak with here momentarily.
I'm getting a feeling here I'm about ready to close the refrigerator door here on this one. The eggs are cooling, the butter's getting hard, Nick. Crowd can feel it a little bit, too. We're seeing some exits. We're seeing some Los Angeles-like early exits here. By the way, you never know what can happen in 53.9 seconds, right?
A little premature, perhaps.
I think so. I think so, too.
Meanwhile, Bienvenu Cernuda. This is the free throw. He's got one more coming, and he'll knock it down.
It's only their 6th free throw of the game.
The lead, it's 13. Braga slicing move, can't finish the deal. Rebound for Marshall. Another dominant night on the glass for the big man. He's going to dribble it himself into the front court and then lose it from behind. Kazajanski for Braga for 2.
Can't turn the ball over. Still got to be smart.
Braga with 8 in the second half, but a little too late for Bedford. Still down 11. Ludden skips it over for Brander, who pulls the trigger and knocks down a three.
Now you're waving goodbye. You know what? You don't want to get too cocky because you're probably going to have to play them again.
91-77. Two more for Braga, but that should do it. Pinkerton going to win this one. A final score of 91-79 as the Astros jump to 13-1 now in the regular season. Bedford falls to 13-1. So these two teams tied atop the standings. Of course, the tiebreaker right now belongs to Pinkerton. All right, we are going to try to track down Coach Dunham.
Try is important here at this point.
And see if we can get him coming up shortly. We'll also, of course, recap this one in its entirety with stats, highlights, out-of-town scoreboard coming up as well. So a lot to get to. Pinkerton, a winner tonight, handing Bedford their first loss in 2 years. 91-79 is the final. Back with the post game in a moment. You are watching our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com. The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse competition, not just in the state, but in the country. Looking to get recruited? Director Chris Cameron keeps an open dialogue with the nation's top college lacrosse coaches. Over 400 New Hampshire Tomahawks alumni have played at the college level, including the ACC, Big East, Big Ten, Ivy, NESCAC, NE10, and more. The New Hampshire Tomahawks coaching staff has over 100 coaches, including current high school, varsity, and college coaches. The Tomahawks offer training for players of all ages, clinics, camps, and leagues, along with spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse. Visit NewHampshireTomahawks.com and girls.nhtomahawks.com. How can you reach your team's fundraising goals at no risk and no cost? MG Sports offers a variety of products to make your team's fundraiser a success. Their products include tickets and discount cards to hundreds of local businesses. MG Sports now has a digital platform where athletes can raise funds in the comfort and safety of their own home. So become another athletic program like Bedford, Goffstown, or Memorial that sets fundraising records every season. MG Sports, fundraising made easy. Visit mgsportsfundraising.com to start raising money for your team today.
Now it's a final. Coach O'Reilly likes the result. Pinkerton, a 91-79 winner over Bedford. That forces a tie atop the Division I standings as both teams are now 13-1 with about 2 weeks to go in the regular season. Nick Anastas along with Justin Gorham.
What a game.
A big crowd tonight, highly anticipated matchup. And it opened up pretty even. 22 apiece after one. Neither team held more than a 2-point lead in that first quarter. The second quarter, well, Marshall leading the way. Pinkerton took the lead, led by as many as 7 in the second quarter, had to settle with a 3-point lead at halftime, 39-36. But I think the most consequential quarter was the third. 2 big runs. Pinkerton opened up a 10-point lead. Bedford came back to tie it at 51 about midway through that third quarter. And then the Astros, they go on an 11-0 run and ultimately never look back on their way to a 12-point victory tonight. 91-79 is the final. Jackson Marshall. Well, par for the course for him. He's been putting up eye-popping numbers all season long.
He's just too big.
Again tonight. How about 35 points to go with 14 rebounds and 4 blocked shots on the way to another victory. Had plenty of help tonight.
Oh, he did. Ludden was
well.
great. Ludden was great. That's the best game we've seen Andrew Brander play, right?
Both of them finished in double figures. Christian Brander, a couple of big threes in the second half to help nail it down as well. And, of course, Parker Bienvenu Cernuda, despite the foul trouble.
Yeah, that was scary, though. They're different
ends up
with him.
contributing in a number of areas. So a complete game tonight for Pinkerton as we get your thoughts on, I guess, starting with the Astros since they were the winners.
I think that they just too much inside for Bedford. They're just too big. That was the one thing I was concerned about, too, going forward. Bedford, can run. I don't think they were as successful with their running style, and their press wasn't as successful as it has been against other teams. And they didn't, you can say you have to try and contain Marshall, right? They didn't really contain him too much. 35 points is not really containing him.
No.
You got to try and keep him under 30, and then I think if you do that, you have a really good chance to win. But offensively, Pinkerton gave up some kind of wide open shots, and that's why one of their runs was cut a little bit shorter. And Bedford just couldn't find an answer for Jackson Marshall inside. Right now no one has found an answer for him. They've had one loss. We know that we're going to call that sort of a weird oddball situation. I don't even know what happened there.
Congratulations to Dover, because they did get it done.
But
for those who don't know, a couple of weeks back, since then Pinkerton has won 4 in a row, including tonight, by a final score of 91-79. Coach Mike Dunham joining us.
He's ready.
Coach,
right,
congratulations.
Congratulations,
Thank
Coach.
you very much.
Good job.
Thank you.
First of all, it was probably the biggest stage outside of the final stage in March that your team is going to play on all season long.
Yeah.
A couple thousand, I'd say, in the gym tonight. And they responded. Not only did Marshall do his thing, but the supporting cast had some of their better games individually as well, at least in my opinion. Your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. The word for tonight was compete. And I thought everyone who played in the game competed at a high level. Drew Brander was awesome. Jackson Marshall was awesome. Charlie Ludden was awesome. Everybody. They just played a complete game. And I've been waiting for him to do it a little bit. We've been in a little slump, not shooting the ball really well. But this atmosphere is why you coach, why you play. And this is great. Bedford's so good. They just come at you in waves. Soden was very good tonight. O'Connell was good. Kazajanski was good. They're just a good team. So,
seemed like you laid the blueprint tonight for how to beat Bedford, since they have been unbeaten for nearly 2 full calendar years. I'm not looking for you to give all the secrets away, Coach.
No
but
secrets.
In terms of the game plan tonight, what were some of the things your team did well execution-wise on both ends?
Yeah, I thought we defended tonight better than we have in the past couple games, and that started against Wyndham. The last 4 minutes or 5 minutes against Wyndham, we really defended. And tonight I thought we did. You said you can only contain Jackson Marshall, but I think you can only contain Luke Soden. You can't stop him, only hope to contain him. And I thought we did a pretty good job on him. He still got free a couple times, but he's such a great player. Offensively, I thought we executed, and seeing Drew Brander get to the rim, hit some shots, it's just really nice to see.
Well, did you go into this too as well thinking about, their press has been very successful against everybody else.
Yeah.
I thought tonight, you had Jackson kind of in the middle, which is huge, and he's huge. So did you kind of go over that and figure out a way how are we going to attack their press? Because they pulled it off after a while.
Yeah, absolutely. We put Jackson right in the middle, and if we get in trouble, throw it up to him, and Jackson go get it and then make a play. He didn't shoot the ball great from 3 tonight, but again, he did such a good job in the middle of that press. And having him is just a huge X factor. But, against their press, trying to get him out of it, and then running our stuff and executing it, I thought we did a really good job.
No, you did. And I always hope, and I always joke around with Nick, I love going back to, because you have a big man that has such great footwork inside, you get him the ball on the low block, and he's able to get open shots. And, you can almost, and you have, I think, in this game in the end, you go inside out.
Yeah.
And if you go inside out, you're going to get your shooters so many more open shots. Is that an emphasis you guys have?
Yeah, 100%.
So
especially the last 5-6 minutes of the game. The real emphasis was to get it inside to Jackson and let him finish it, right? Because, we needed easy buckets then. And he did a good job. I don't think he took many free throws tonight. But, again, I think he did, just honestly such a good job.
Yeah, that was a big disparity there. We talked about that. You guys only shot 6 free throws to their
Yeah, but those refs did a great job.
They did.
They always do,
Yeah. Coach, you got a full week off before your next in action at Trinity a week from tonight. It's now February. How do you handle a full week.
Yeah, so
this late in the schedule.
They definitely have the weekend off, and then we'll get back at it Monday and prepare for Trinity. And the new coach up there is doing a great job. He's doing an unbelievable job up there, and we'll have our hands full at Trinity. Right now, if you win out, you get the 1 seed, which is what we kind of want, but we got to take care of business with the last 3 or 4 games, whatever we have got left.
I see a lot of shooting games perhaps this week.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, we shot the ball well. I mean, I think we talked about, the last time you were here against Wyndham, other guys stepping up, and tonight that happened. And this place has been electric all day. We had a pep rally here today.
Nice.
The place was packed. And again, kudos to Bedford. I mean, they play so well. They really are a good team, and I'd like to see it again maybe someday.
Oh, I think you will. And we said budding rivalry. He said that best. He said that. Yeah. I thought maybe you have something happening here, and he said budding rivalry, and you can feel it though. It's a fun one though. Nobody's there's a little bit of weirdness, but they're really into it. Both sides are into it.
Yeah, absolutely, and you can hear it too. It's really fun to be around here right now. So.
Well, from our perspective, Coach, we're hoping for that rematch.
We love it. That's my prediction.
Later.
I know. It's like my Super Bowl prediction. That's my prediction as well.
Yeah, all right. Well, thank you
Coach,
very much,
congratulations.
guys. I appreciate everything you do. Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming.
Enjoy this one. 91-79 is the final. A big win in front of a big crowd.
Ooh,
congratulations to Pinkerton. Bedford, as we know, they'll be fine. They'll regroup. And we may see these two teams on the big stage a little over a month from now. But your final thoughts before we say goodbye.
I think Bedford didn't really play their style of basketball throughout the whole game, and I think that's because you have to contend with somebody inside who's different. Jackson Marshall is a very different player than anyone in the state. No other team has a big man that you can throw the ball into and know that you're going to get 2 shots, you're going to get a basket, you're going to get a free throw as the crowd goes wild. And they have that. And so now Bedford has to go back to the drawing board and figure out what do we do to contain him. Like Coach Like said, you can't stop him. You can only hope to contain him because they're probably going to play each other again in the finals.
A good night in defeat for Bedford's Luke Soden. Finished with a team-high 27 points, one of 4 different Bulldogs in double figures. Brady O'Connell chipped in with 18. Austin Kazajanski scored 10 of his 11 in the first half. Thomas Braga scored all 10 of his points.
How about Bedoyan,
in the
too?
second half? And Bedoyan had 17 points. You're right. I almost forgot.
But that's like
about him.
Big for him.
He was big on the glass tonight, and you're right. He looked good for the Bulldogs.
He did.
Despite
That's
the
a
loss.
huge bright spot for them.
I want to thank Coach O'Reilly, the athletic director here at Pinkerton, without hesitation, giving us the green light.
And the best spot in the gym.
We appreciate that for sure. And then our crew here tonight, which was a little bit of a mix and match. Of course, we had the veteran John Barron spearheading the whole thing here early for the setup, getting us all comfortable. Of course, we saw the return of Matt Beals as he flew in from out of town last night.
I see him over there.
Third camera tonight.
Looking good.
Up here in the captain's chair, our new friend, Josh Lebrecht, waving hello as well. We look forward to working with him down the road. We'll be back with another 2 games next week as we head towards the finish line of the regular season of the NHIAA schedule. But this one was a bookmark game tonight, and it's a winner for Pinkerton. 91-79 is the final score of the final time.
It lived up to our expectations, though, I think, right?
It sure did. Tonight's broadcast, of course, orchestrated by the man behind the curtain, the wizard of replay, our director, Ben Beals, back at the Beals Insurance Studios, and overseen, of course, by executive producer Steve Beals down in the Sunshine State. For Justin Gorham, I'm Nick Anastas saying so long. This has been a presentation of our Friday Night Lights in New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance.